Hello, welcome to another handy fix repair. So unfortunately I didn't show testing on this video, but basically I've got a cordless Bluepoint screwdriver that I have one good battery and one battery that didn't have any charge basically. I'm just currently looking for how to disassemble the battery and giving it a clean at the same time. I did try cleaning up the terminals and checked the voltage inside the battery. I think it was quite low, at about 1.4 volts or something like that. I can sort of see in the bottom end that there is what look like clips and sort of a seam in the plastic, and here I'm just trying to figure out how to split the two pieces. Okay, so got three clips, one there, and one there. I broke one of them. Well, no, I broke two of them, but it's that tight. I can't see how you'd be able to get them in, get them out. So I put a piece of wood here, hammered down on that side a couple of times, hammered down on that side a couple of times, and off it popped. So yeah. Right then, piece of wood. Interesting. No BMS. Just a tiny little resistor by the looks of it. Okay. Okay, that's not good. Bit of rust there. Yeah, there you go. Rusty cells. So, I'm thinking, because I know these don't hold charge for very long, can we replace it with a bigger one? See if there's any power still left in these. I tried it earlier and it discharged within about a second, but it also charged up within about a second, so not good. .4 volts. Problem I see is this rust. There's obviously damp going in there quite badly, and it looks as if it's an early lithium ion cell with it being paper. At this point, ignore what I've just said. It's clearly a nickel battery. I'm just being an idiot. Just bare metal, which is the outside, which is the negative. So I think what we'll do, I'll see if there's a battery that's the same size, and then transfer the bits from this onto this, and then glue it back in. We'll see what I can find on the internet. Boom. There we go. These were quite tricky to find. We got them eventually. So they come with these tabs pre-soldered on. What I'm thinking, the top one, solder that one onto there, once that's in place, or I'll just cut that one down to there actually. It's wide enough. I might cut it off actually. I want it to be wide enough to slot on there. So these batteries were exact replacements. They were all 1.2 volts. They were just a more modern way of being produced, essentially. So 3 in line were 3.6 volts. So this part of the video is just me test fitting and trying to get it right, and then eventually soldering on each battery to the next, and then finally test fitting. Unfortunately, I have to apologise for this shot. The camera's dropped down a little bit and I didn't realise, so everything is on the top or just slightly out of shot, which is quite frustrating. But if you've got one of these screwdrivers, it's really easy to do. You know, you just have a go. I think these replacements were £2.45 each, so really reasonable to sort it yourself. And I've had a quick look on eBay and there's a few of these for sale, to be fair. Not quite sure how much they're worth essentially with 2 new batteries or reconditioned, but yeah, I suppose it's a good little tool. As you'll see at the end, does what you need it to. So sit back and enjoy. And if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, I'd really appreciate it. It'll help get the channel out there, and hopefully I can stop working. LOL. So at this point I've just finished putting the battery together, and I'm just testing it to see what sort of voltage it's got in. There you can see 3.8 volts DC, and I get the working one just to see what that's at, because I previously tested it on the screwdriver and it worked fine at that voltage. So 3.8 will do nicely. Here's me putting it into the screwdriver without the bottom piece on and testing it, and it all seems to work. So now it's time to glue on the bottom piece. So this is just me testing the new battery is working correctly in the charger. As you can see, it's on, then it's off when I pull it out, and then it's back on. And now I'm just testing the functionality of everything, making sure it all works. Thanks for watching, guys. Another video from Handy Andy Fix. Bye.